At the end of my high school career, I'm not going off to college or work, and I can't talk about my whole high school experience or anything else that seniors usually mention in these reflections because I'm not there yet. But I can tell you what I've learned in these past 2 years at IMS. I have grown so much, and I'm glad to say that I'm a very different person than I was when I first started high school. My identity, my faith, my friendships have all changed here in this building. I've had the privilege to discover myself here in these past 2 years. Before high school, I couldn't ever find a good way to define myself and what I believed. I thought that I needed to fit into a certain category or something to really know who I was. I've realized here at IMS that I don't need to worry about that. I can say, I'm a Mennonite, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, actress, writer, student. I'm a person who stands up for what I believe and doesn't apologize because I'm different. I've realized that there's so much more to me, although I still have lots to learn. At the same time my sense of identity has grown, my faith has also grown. I've learned to define my faith, defend my faith. I've realized that maybe the most important thing I can do to strengthen my faith is to really think critically about what I believe and why I believe it. I must interact with other people who have different ideas and opinions, listen and adapt and learn from them, and share what I believe so they can learn from me. Because the only way we can grow and develop as people, as communities, as followers of Christ, is to accept differences, acknowledge all the aspects of the uniqueness of humanity, and learn from them. Psalm 20, verses 7 and 8 say, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They are brought to their knees and fall, but we rise up and stand firm." This is my favorite Bible verse, and it's one that I find myself coming back to as I go through changes in my life. When we first moved to Iowa, I had lost faith that God knew what they were doing and had a plan for my life. As I dealt with doubt and a huge sense of loss, I turned to that verse. It renewed my sense of security. It gave me hope that God really does have a plan for me. After we had been living here for almost 2 years, I started really struggling with myself. I had very little sense of self-worth, and my self-confidence was pretty much non-existent. I started to not really care how my life went. I floated through school, and the things that had been important to me didn't really matter anymore. I stopped taking care of my physical health. I stopped taking care of my spiritual health. I had no idea what to do about my emotional health. I'll admit there were days I didn't see a way out because I didn't really care what happened to me. I couldn't find God. I couldn't find my friends. I couldn't find myself. Standing in front of you now, I can't pinpoint why exactly it's gotten better. All I know is I've had amazing people in my life that inspire me every day. I believe God worked through them to help put me back together. They've helped me find motivation to rebuild my confidence, take care of my body and mind, and reestablish my connection with God. I don't know what I would have done without them. I have been so blessed by these people here who genuinely care about me, about my life, my faith, and just everything. I never imagined I'd have friends like that, but here they are. I've learned from them to open up about the deepest parts of myself and share who I am with others. It's given me so many opportunities to develop these relationships, and I'm going to miss it all so much. I'm going to miss singing songs from Broadway musicals with Adria and Rachel, talking about the newest show coming to New York, and freaking out over actors' voices. I'm going to miss movies with Maddie and hanging out at the mall because that's the cool thing to do. I'm going to miss talking about social justice with Brandon and learning what makes something real Mexican food. I'm going to miss debating with Jesse whether robots will take over the world and if milk is really a conspiracy theory. I'm going to miss all the other amazing things I get to do and talk about with my friends. You all know who you are. You have become my family, whether or not you're a favorite son or the third favorite daughter, and you never forget your family. So, thank you. Thank you, IMS, for teaching me how to get along with people, because there's not very many people to begin with. For teaching me how to be involved in anything and everything, and try things outside of my comfort zone. For giving me a space like this, where I can share with all of you the things that are important to me. Thank you, teachers, for pushing me to learn and understand what's going on in class. For establishing relationships outside of the classroom and sharing your faith with your students. Thank you, Steve, Dad, for being the most amazing principal I've ever had and ever will have, and showing me how to live out my faith in new places with new people. Thank you, my friends, for saving my life many times over, for showing me how to grow spiritually, for showing me how to take care of myself and how to have fun. I know it's only been 2 years, but it feels so much longer. You've all certainly impacted my life, and I'm grateful for it. Next year, I'll be attending Doc Mennonite Academy, where I'll get to go back to the same classmates I left 3 years ago. I'll participate in musicals and concerts there, and continue the education I started here at IMS. I've joined touring choirs, so I'll see some of you next year in Lancaster. So even though we're leaving, this is not necessarily a goodbye. Thank you.